Lars steps onto the springboard for his first dive, a back 2.5 somersault pike. 3.0 degree of difficulty. Nice entry in the water. The dive is pushed too far back from the board. There's a lot of distance between the position of the entry and the board. So the judges deduct a few points for that. 6.5, 7 for Lars Rudiger compared to what he did this morning. 60 points today, 58 this morning. Second diver up on the board is Danilo Konovalov from Ukraine. He was 6th last year in this event at Rome 2022 European Championship. He starts his competition with a forward 2.5 somersault double twist. Good job. Does a good job with it. Doesn't finish it very well. He lets the dive over rotate a little bit too much, goes over and splashes quite a bit. He could have done definitely better. He did a bit better this morning. Gets 68 points today to start the competition, and he goes ahead of Lars in first place. The youngest diver in this final right now on the board, 18 years old. Jake was his first big final for him at senior level. Front 2.5 somersault, full twist. And nicely done. Very sharp in the air. It's a really nice line of his knees, ankles, and toes when he enters the water. Perfectly done in the air, and good rip entry for Jake. 7.5, 8 on his first dive, and he gets ahead of everyone so far. Here we have Junior World Championship from Junior World Champion from the 2021 edition in Kiev, Jules Bouyer from Lyon, France. Inward 3.5 somersault tuck. He got 68 points on this dive this morning. And we'll get many more. Somersaulting was extremely fast with a great vertical entry. This will go above 75 points for sure. Here we have the awards. 8, 8, and 7.5 are the scores. Good job. Already 10 points ahead of Jake Passmore and diver from Switzerland. And another great inward rotation, inward somersaulting dive. It is perfectly executed, especially in the entry. Very clean. The entry does not splash at all. We can see how he grabs fast at his hands with perfectly straight elbows, and there are no splashes at all. 8 from the judges, 72 total points on the first dive for Jonathan. And Matthew Dixon now on the board. Good job. Good job, especially managing to get vertical and with a really good entry, even though the hurdle and getting down from the hurdle back on the board. 7.5, 8 from the judges. 71.30 total points, is in third place at the moment. Did not compete in this event last year due to an injury that he suffered just a few weeks before European Championship in Rome. inward 3.5 somersault tuck. And just like his teammate, he does a great job lining up this dive and getting the most out of a takeoff that in this case, compared to his teammate, was not perfect, but he still got pretty vertical, very nice, a great dive to start off this final. Here are the awards from the judges, straight sevens for him, 71.40. From Italy, Lorenzo Marsaglia. Lorenzo won with a total of 453 points last year in Rome. And from the diving we have seen this morning, it might not be enough to win again this year. Oh, perfect execution at the end of the circle arm when he took off, but he does a great job, especially at the bottom, to get a great rip. Look how good the pike position, squeezed as much as possible, and a nice entry for Lorenzo. Matteo Santoro and Chiara Pellacani cheering for him. 8 from the judges, 74.40 for the Italian diver. His teammate now, Giovanni, with the same exact dive, a front 3.5 somersault pike, also for him. Oh wow, this is even better in my opinion. Very high, extremely sharp in the pike position, perfect legs, straight legs. Look how tight that pike position is, and an amazing entry. And yes, the 9s, we hear 9s from the judges. Amazing job, 80, and he bounces ahead of everyone. Excellent, excellent start of the competition by the 2 Italians, especially by Giovanni. Next up, Oleg Collodi, the oldest diver in this final. He did an amazing job this morning with his list. Starts off with an inward 3.5 somersault tuck. Got 71 points with this dive this morning. If he can repeat himself this afternoon, that would be a good start of the final. And he does that. Excellent, excellent takeoff from the springboard. He pushes very fast with his knees and ankles and toes. Get the most out of it and lines up correctly. Could have grabbed better at his ends, and he does exactly the same score as this morning. 71.40 are the total points for on his first dive. From Germany now, another one that is here definitely aiming for gold. Moritz Weissman. He did not make the final last year in Rome in this event. He was 16th. Took 81 points in the morning with this. And a good dive. Very well executed off the board and in the air. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't stay too tight in his core and does not get the entry he wanted. He's a little bit loose, so he's splashy entering the water. Not as good as this morning, still a good overall dive. And 6.5 for him, 69.7 points for him on this one. The winner of this morning's preliminary round. He started off with a not so good back 2.5 somersault pike this morning. 64 points for him on this dive this morning, but then kept on improving in morning's prelims. Again, just like this morning, he does not get a perfect entry. Lets the dive go too far over. This probably won't score very high. You see him here. A good push. The arms go all the way up, even a little bit too far back. The pike position is perfect, but when he comes out, it's a little bit too late, and his feet splash a lot too far over. And yeah, the winner of this morning premiers sits in last place in the rankings. After one round of dives, he's in 12th place. It's just the first dive, so there's still a long way to go until we'll see. For his best dive of the morning session, a reverse 1.5 somersault, 3.5 twist. and it's a good, and he probably overreacted in the air when it was time to line up. Didn't keep his composure and lost control a little bit of his stomach and abs. We saw it here, little wiggle from his hips, getting in the water. 6.5 and 7s from the judges. He sits at 130 after 2 dives. Danilo Konovalov now on the board, an inward 3.5 somersault tuck for the young Ukrainian diver. That was his worst dive this morning, and again this is a mistake. This could compromise his chances of getting a medal here tonight in Sheshov. He never got all the way back up with his upper body and arms before jumping off the board. Leans too far forward, and that causes the dive to fall rapidly to the water. We see his legs landing too far short before the vertical line. 4.5 from the judges. Just 45 points, 45.90 for him. Jake Passmore already on the board. The Irish diver is going to show us an inward, an inward 2.5 somersault pike. It's time to improve the degree of difficulty, but he does an excellent job in these easier dives. He's very sharp in the air, very elegant, very nice to look at when he jumps and somersaults. See how he squeezes the pike position and gets a very clean entry in the water. 7.5 and 8 from the judges. Total of 69 points, and he improves from 2 points on this dive. And another great entry, vertical, and has no splashes at all getting in the water. The only thing about this dive, he should have kept it a little bit closer to the board in order to get higher scores, but straight 8s from the judges give him 74.40 points, 154.30 ahead of everyone right now. Jonathan Sukov, forward 2.5 somersault, double twist for the Swiss diver that was in 4th after the first round of dives. And this is a mistake for him. Unfortunately, he gets a very good top, very good spinning rotation, very fast, that he didn't react to that the right way. He kept on pushing down with his shoulders on the come out from the twist right here, and the legs go over and slightly twisted as well. Judges noticed that it was not too heavy on the bottom, but definitely a little bit over and twisted. He lost a little bit of ground here compared to the other divers that dove before him. Not a huge mistake, but definitely a mistake for the Swiss diver if he wants a medal. Matthew Dixon now forward, double somersault, 2.5 somersault, double twist. Same dive as the Swiss diver before him, and he does a better job than Jonathan. Again, another hurdle where Matthew struggles a little bit with the rhythm. We heard again a lot of noise from the board when he got back on the board. Lost control of his feet while he was twisting, but straight 7s from the judges, and Matthew gets a total of 71.40 points, 142, and he is in 2nd place right now. Next up, Alexis Gendard. Front 2.5 somersault, double twist. The hurdle was way too far to the left. It's question how coming down from the hurdle, he was completely to the left side, then kept on going very well, very tight in the twist, and a great entry. A little bit of arch there. That's why the entry is not completely clean, but 7.5 from the judge. Is in second place. Lorenzo Marsaglia, the Italian diver, is going to show us times this dive in a row, and we will see it again by Lorenzo's teammate Giovanni after this. And he goes here now. Very good. 66 points. He will improve that score for sure here. Very nice control of the twist. And the entry is slightly short, but a good job overall for 8 from the teammate Giovanni Tocci. Same exact dive. Oh, another great dive by the Italian. Amazing entry. No splashes at all once again for Giovanni. He loses control of his feet a little bit while twisting, but then the entry in the water is amazing. 8 for him from the judges. The entry really helped him there. And 81.60, just like his... Oh, great entry. Spectacular dive by the Ukrainian, very well experienced diver. It was very sharp in the air, it squeezes his pike position very well. I personally don't like very much the way he brings his arms back, completely straight like that, but it works for him, gets a perfect entry, and 8 from the judges for Oleg. 72 points, 143.40 for Oleg Kolodi after 2 dives. Moritz Weisman, reverse 3.5 somersault tuck. Very good top. Oh, nice dive. Too bad it doesn't nail the entry in the air when taking off. See it here. And then comes out after 3 somersaults, way above the 3-meter springboard, but we see a lot of splashes when he enters the water. That ruins it a little bit. This could have scored high, very high, but that entry should have been much better than that. 7s from the judges, 73.50, still a good 320 in 6th place at the moment. And now we have Ross Haselam. He definitely got a huge miss on the first round of dives in a back 2.5 somersault pike. He wants to recover. And with and it does a good job. Not great though. He pushes his hips too far back before taking off from the board. That creates some distance between him and the board. Also, he's slightly tilted to the left. We saw it here, and that causes him to splash too much. But does much better than what he did in the first round. Obviously, all the judges agree, and the score, the award for him is straight 7s, a total of 71 points for him, 125. Are shown now on screen. Giovanni, Lorenzo, and Jules are the top 3 divers so far. I can tell you that compared to this morning's prelims, only 4 divers changed their list. Italian divers Lorenzo and Giovanni and Alexis Gendard. They all added in their list the 4.5 somersault tuck with a 3.8 degree of difficulty, and we will see them later on in their list. They all will compete it as a last dive. Lars Rudiger now, reverse 3.5 somersault tuck. Oh, very good top. Very good top. The entry could have been cleaner, but the top part of this dive was very well executed. Above 6 meters and pulls a little bit too far back with his shoulders in the entry. Danilo Konovalov now on the board. He's very strong off the board. He does not get in a good tuck position. Struggles in the air while somersaulting. The hurdle was good, just his left toes over the end. But then the tuck position, I guess it didn't manage to squeeze it well enough to get all the way vertical. So he gets 5.5 from the judges. Another mistake for the young Ukrainian diver on this dive. And he will score less than what he did this morning on this dive. Yeah, exactly. 62 total points on this. A back 2.5 somersault pike, 3.0 degree of difficulty. And nicely done again. An easy dive, just 3.0 degree of difficulty, but very, very well executed. The entry, especially in the water, has no splashes at all. Not very high, gotta be honest. Not very high. Could have jumped an overall performance today by Jake. He's at 202 points and he's in second place, right behind Lars Rudiger, who is sitting at 203. Dive of the competition. These and the reverse 2.5 somersault pike are the two easiest ones. See how he performs that. And very well. He's much stronger than Jake, who dove before him off the board. A very nice jump, very high, perfect pike position. Squeezed all the way with the face between his knees, and a great entry. The judges agree, and he gets 8 points on this dive. Very well executed by Jules. Jonathan now from Geneva, Switzerland. He was 10th last year in this event in Rome. Good job. The entry is the only thing missing there. The top part was good. I like all the movements he does in the air to get in a pike, even in pike position. We can see it here how he grabs all the way to his elbows with his hands. Good job. But here at the very bottom, he is a tiny bit short in order to get higher scores. 7th for him, 63 points. Matthew Dixon now. Inward 3.5 somersault tuck for Matthew. This is Matthew's first big final on springboard. He has been a medalist at European Championship 3 times. Good job with this inward 3.5 somersault tuck. Coaches seem definitely happy with it. He could have gotten a better entry, but yeah, it's not very splashy, but it is over with his legs. There are not many splashes, but definitely his legs go a little bit too far over compared to the perfect vertical line. For Matthew, a total of 66.30 points on this dive. He is behind Jules Bouyer. And here is Jules' teammate, Alexis, a back 2.5 somersault pike. Good overall, not excellent though. Not an excellent dive by Alexis. He could have done better, especially on the takeoff. He's quite far from the board when getting in the water, and also his legs are not completely vertical. They over-rotate. And so the judges deduct a few points because of that. Could have done better on this one. 6.5, 7, 450 with this dive. He's at 207 points. Now Lorenzo Marsaglia, same dive for him. A back 2.5 somersault pike. And Lorenzo does another good dive. Clean entry, not bad at all. Probably, just like Alexei before him, this dive should have been kept closer to the board, and in the entry, probably a better placement of the hands on the water could have given him a better entry. But overall, he can't complain. 7s from the judges, 619 points. His teammate now, Giovanni Tocci, same exact dive. Giovanni is doing a 2.5 while Lorenzo is doing a 3.5. And Giovanni does an amazing job with his back 2.5 somersault pike. And another excellent entry. Another great rip for him. See him coming out of the 2.5 somersaults now, and great, excellent way to line up and place his hands on the water completely flat. 7.5s and 8s for him. Total of 70 points. And Giovanni is at 200. Oleg Kolodi, a forward 3.5 somersault pike. And this is a mistake for him. On the easiest dive, the forward 3.5 somersault pike, he does not get all the way vertical. He scored on this dive 69 points this morning, and he will not get up there this afternoon for sure. Yeah, we saw it in the slow motion how his legs just never got vertical. 6.5s from the judges, 60 points for Oleg Kolodi. Maurice Basement now, a forward 2.5 somersault double twist. And another extremely high dive by Moritz. He jumps very high. But once again, I gotta say, when he lines up, he lets the legs go over and does not get the most out of it. With such takeoffs, he could just line up nice and easily, no rush. Instead, he lets it roll over. Morris is at 214 points, who is already creating quite a gap behind him. 8 points in front of Jules and 15 in front of his teammate Lorenzo. But we have the last diver of this round, Ross Aslam. Reverse 1.5 somersault, 3.5 twist. Good job. Not bad at all. The only thing I saw live was a little arch while getting in the water, but overall a very well executed dive. You see it here, he squares out of the twist, but his legs are a little sideways to the right, and that causes him to slightly splash when entering the water. Not bad at all. 202 points. He is trying to get back on track after the score. On screen you can see the scores and the rankings after the 3 rounds of dives. So we are halfway through. Giovanni Tocci in first, Jules Bouyer in second, and Lorenzo Marsaglia in third. Closes the rankings Danilo Konovalov at 176 points.